hopefully that's not the case. I want to put one back to you, Damo. You were pretty strong on Triple M yesterday in terms of where the season sits. You didn't fill me with a lot of confidence that the AFL are 100% certain about where this is all going to end up. Can you bring us up to speed on that?
Yeah, it's on the back of these transgression, Kane. We may as well jump into the latest one, the Collingwood one. The coach, Nathan Buckley, and his main assistant coach, Brenton, Sanderson, who became effectively the 5th football club inside the space of 24 hours to be sanctioned by the AFL. Now, Brenton Sanderson and Nathan Buckley played tennis with each other on the Wednesday. They then did so with Alicia Molik, a former Australian tennis great, and her coach, and that was outside the rules relating to COVID-19. And they've been fined $50,000, $25,000 of that suspended. They will foot the bill themselves. But this competition, Kane, and you know this, there are 12 of the 18 clubs living out of a suitcase. Special exemptions are being given by multiple state governments for AFL footballers to be living in those states and to be playing their craft and plying their craft within those states. And we've now got 5 football clubs that have breached those special exemptions. And there comes a point where some state governments may go, well, why are we doing this? And this is the rap sheet, so to speak. And the Collingwood one is the most serious one because it involves the senior coach of the Collingwood Footy Club, and the fact that he's transgressed in a way, TJ, I feel is the most serious of those breaches that we've seen there.
Have the other ones been innocent mistakes?
Well, where do you draw the line, and what is the definition of an innocent mistake?
And Instagram.
Yeah, look,
is an innocent
I've got some sympathy with that one.
Surely nobody thought we were going to get through this period and not have these sort of issues when you put so many people into quarantine. Surely we didn't think there was going to be smooth sailing.
Look, I wasn't surprised when those other ones came up, but I've got to say I was absolutely gobsmacked when I found out that Nathan Buckley had transgressed. I mean, Nathan Buckley, I'm not going to say puts himself on a pedestal of social consciousness or social commentary, but if you go back to January when he sort of put the Prime Minister on notice during the bushfires. Now, this was a tweet from Nathan Buckley saying, this is in January, leadership is hard, put your hand up and accept what could have been done better by you and others, then accept the vitriol, the hurt and the pain, listen, understand and empathise, then take action, firstly for today, then for tomorrow. Now, those words ring true in a lot of ways because he has put his hand up and he's accepting the hurt and all the rest of it. But if you're going to pontificate, then you've got to stay within the rules yourself, don't you? And that's why I'm so surprised of all the people that Nathan Buckley has transgressed.
I actually honestly believe he should consider standing down from coaching this team tonight against the Dockers in Perth. The game starts at 6:10, the completion of round 9.
Not coach tonight?
Well, Bill, he's been quarantined away from the football club anyway while he's dealing with a test that had to be taken because he played with someone outside the confines of his football club. And when you line up the transgression with what his own president, Eddie McGuire, said basically on the day of infringement when it came to Buckley and Sanderson playing tennis. This is Eddie McGuire on Fox Footy on Friday night having a view on what should happen to people within the AFL system who transgress in such a manner.
We make a rule to keep the game going. From here to the grand final, there's still about $250 million worth to be left on the table if this ends. It'll be a disaster. Imagine we don't get to finish off the final series now. So, you know, he says, right, here's the rules. And then everyone, the great Australian tradition, as we're seeing right through society at the moment, is, OK, there's a rule, but it doesn't apply to me. And he's saying, right, OK, have you got it now? It applies to everyone. That rule book is not how do we get around every rule. That's the rule book you live by. And if you don't like it, we'll arrange for you to go home.
So you just insert Nathan Buckley and Brenton Sanderson into what Eddie said there, and we're clear now on what Eddie thinks should happen to such a situation. And the apologies are fine. And look, Nathan Buckley, he's a really good person, and I think his apology was genuine, don't get me wrong. But the messaging isn't getting through. That's the 5th club that's done something in the past week, which is putting in jeopardy the entire AFL season. And I think sending the strongest message would come in the form of consideration at least to not coaching tonight.
Look, I don't disagree with you, Damo, and Lord, I know you've got your own view, but if we suspend players a la Steele Sidebottom for 4 weeks and other players who've copped suspensions, why not extend that to club administrators or in coaches?
And I was on with Lee Matthews yesterday. He said how humiliated you'd be as a senior coach because you're there in charge of all your players. You're trying to lead the way. You would have spoken about the things we can and can't do, and you are the one that have breached the rules. And he'd want to hope they win tonight because, again, the pressure goes on with a poor performance. They lose to the bottom 2 team in the Fremantle Dockers. The distraction that this could have placed on the players would fall onto Nathan Buckley. So you'd want to hope they perform well.
But they'll get around him. The players will get around. They love Bucks. They'll get around him.
But Billy, that's fine, mate. That's fine. But he stuffed up.
He did, and he's put his hand up.
Yeah, but
Mate, we all
you
stuff
can be
up.
the best bloke in the world, mate. But I mean, you've stuffed up, and you've just cost your
we're
club
allowed
lot
a
of
chance in life, mate.
You're what?
We're allowed a chance in life, aren't
Not
we?
when the competition's hanging by a thread, mate.
No, and he's put his hand up. He's going to pay the fine
Collectively, Bill,
himself.
there are now 5 examples where the AFL Commission effectively has got involved in issuing clubs significant fines and sanctions. And at some stage, a state government... We've got Daniel Andrews in a couple of hours' time now about to put Victoria into even more serious lockdown. We can't play football in Victoria. The states we can play it in, the players are transgressing.
The great thing with footy clubs, you get around and you support
Bill,
each other.
you can't play the good bloke card every time, all right? So let's have a look at the West Coast Eagles and Geelong.
Thanks, Tony.